Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Wednesday night edition of Inside the Headset. We're going to roll out to the launch pad right here in Rutherford County. Going to talk to the head coach of the Rockville Rockets, head coach Brian Guthrie. How you doing tonight, Coach?
Man, I'm great, Stork. How you doing?
I'm doing well, and it's so good to have you on Inside the Headset. And always a great pleasure to come out to Rockville and visit the launch pad. Coach
It's a
Luker.
good place.
It's a wonderful place. It is, and you guys take care of the Stork, man. I mean, the only thing about Rockville is it's got a lot of steps leading up to that press box, and I'd love for you guys to get some power up on top, but we normally string an extension cord and make it work. If we could get the shop team or somebody to work on some power at the top, man, that would help us all out, and I'm sure your film crew would enjoy it too.
We'll see. We'll see what we can do.
All righty, all righty. Well, Coach, you finished 4-6 on the regular season and 2-3 in the region. But you went down, and when I say you went down, high school football's all about you got to have a quarterback. If anybody hadn't watched this enough, you got to have a quarterback. You had one, Mayhew, and went down with a ACL on the knee, and this is a kid broken ankle. Broken ankle.
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, I can't keep up with all of them, but anyway, he was in a cast. He was in a cast. Yeah. He was in a cast.
Yeah.
And shortly after that, the kid shows up at a Stewart's Creek game, and he's got the biggest smile in the world. And talk about that leadership of your quarterback. I mean, this is a guy you got to have on Friday night. I mean, he makes the train go.
Oh, well, I can't say enough about Brendan. I mean, he's just a great kid. Got great parents. He's always working to get better. Always in a good mood. He's a leader of our football program. He's a spiritual leader on our football team. I just can't say enough about him. We definitely missed him when he went down. I mean, I think that was pretty obvious. But he's back and moving around and able to throw and plant on his foot and do all that kind of stuff. So we're real excited. I mean, he was really clicking right before he got hurt. So, but the name of the game's you got to finish, and we got to find a way to keep him upright and keep him healthy.
And as a first-year head coach and running the Rockville Rockets, how much did it stress on you? How much you got to work to have a backup quarterback?
Well, I mean, we had a couple, that could run our offense. We just, he didn't have a whole lot of weapons around him too, because our starting slot had a same broken ankle that Mayhew did. He broke it the week before in the Riverdale game, and we just kind of ran into some things that we couldn't overcome, and he didn't have the same amount of reps, the same amount of experience that Brennan did, and so it wasn't all him. It was a lot of other things too. But we got DJ back, that slot receiver, who was a great player for us, and he was exploding too before he got hurt. We got Cam Frierson back, who had a bucket handle tear, which is like a meniscus tear on his knee. That happened in the Riverdale game. We got him back. He's working out and rehabbing that knee, and so we feel real good about where we are.
Jalen Morgan, he's being highly recruited and everything. How great is it to have a kid like him on your team and watching the process and everything? For those of you that don't know it, that are not following the Rockville Rockets, but recently visited by Coach Saban and everything. But he's a heck of an athlete, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's a really good player. He's got some growing to do, and he's still got some things to learn, and he's got to have a great, junior season. But he's awesome for us. He's a great kid. I never have to worry about him being in trouble. I never have to worry about his grades. He's going to show up and do what he's got to do. He's going to do extra. He also is one of our great leaders. So, I'm tickled to death to have him. Whereas, the way things are nowadays, it's like there's a transfer portal in our, in high school football.
Oh, there he is.
That's a problem. That's a problem. So, but he chose to stay here and because he loves us and loves what we're doing and wants to, stay here to build something. So, we're real happy with him and I can't say enough about him.
And talk about that is a first-year head coach, and plus the family atmosphere out at Rockville. It's a special place. I mean, it's a school that hasn't been around that long, and Coach Luker built it off of. He brought Coach Rice in, and he started it off right with a veteran coach to start it off and help get the goalpost up and what little you have to work with, but. It's a special place to go out and spend Friday night because I love it because it's natural grass. I mean, so many of the stadiums, and I know that you guys have to spend a lot of time, but I when you see me, just think that guy right there loves natural grass, and it's just something about it, because as Coach Dye always said, the game was invented on grass, the game was meant to be played on grass, and it's a special place out at Rockville on Friday night at the launch pad.
It is, and we've got a lot of things going. Of course, we're starting with nothing, so we're in the process of spending $60,000 or $70,000 on our practice field to try to redo it because we really don't have one, and we have limited space out there, so. We are actually. I mean, I love grass too. Don't get me wrong. I love cutting it. I love cutting the grass, and but because of our space and because of the wear and tear that we get, and not having space for our soccer team doesn't have a place to practice. Our freshmen don't have a place to practice, so we're already starting the process of going to turf, just basically because of space. And that'll just give us another place to practice. So, we're starting that process. We're starting to talk about it, and so we hope that's something in the future. And then, we've got plans for a phenomenal field house, and so once we get the kind of turf going, then we can start focusing on that. And I think hopefully by the time I get out of here, that we'll have some pretty good facilities.
And you talk about that. I think that's the most important thing you need to get first is a field house, a place where your guys can come in on Friday night and put their helmets and put their things up. And it's you've got to have a place where you can gather because football is rough on a school. People have no idea how the wear and tear it is. I mean, janitors, I'm sure, are cringing every time you guys come in on the on the regular school grounds, but it's just part of the process.
After it's been raining.
Yeah, yeah. But with our growth rate here of 360,000 people and 8 big high schools and almost 2,800 students at each one of the schools and adding people every day, it's a constant battle because of the wear and tear on our schools not having a field house, and it's going to be real important for you to get that added to your attitude.
It is. It would do a lot for our school building, and just help all the other sports just have more space. We've got a locker room that has 56 lockers. We've got 140 kids in our program. I mean, that's a problem. We got our weight room is small. It only has 6 racks, and so trying to work those guys in at different times because we can't put them all in there at once or even half of them, and it's just that's an issue. So if we could get out and get a field house where we had space, that just creates so much more space for other programs, and then our other programs can flourish and use the weight room more and get stronger and get better. And it's just it has to happen. And so if there's anybody out there that wants to jump in on that project and help us, we're all ears. So. That's something we've got to get done.
Any changes now in your coaching staff since the last season?
No, sir.
No changes.
We're keeping all our coaches, Yeah, I think that I try to take care of those guys, and of course that's I told you a long time ago that was one of the reasons why I took this job was because the guys that we had on staff, and so we got to try to keep those guys together because I think continuity is huge in building a program, and so if we can keep all those guys and keep saying the same things and having the same thoughts and all that, and the kids just feed off of that, and I think that's going to be good for us in the long run.
When we think about spring practice, you working those 2s and 3s in your first year of head coaching
Mm-hmm.
last year, what have you learned, and what has to happen in that amount of time, and what do you have to get done in that short period of time?
Well, spring practice to me is just about finding out what you got. It's an evaluation period because you've got those freshmen coming up that are going to be sophomores, and you got to figure out what juniors are going to or that are going to be seniors, or how they're going to fit in. And so, we try to two-platoon, but in the spring everybody plays both sides, and we figure out what's best for us and how we can build that depth. And so we spend those 2 weeks, and that's why I don't really like to scrimmage anybody else. Because I just want to focus on us, and so we'll go 9 days or whatever, and then we'll have a blue and white game, and at the end, and we kind of do it like an event, and ask the community to come out, and we open the concession stand up, and we do it kind of like the colleges do, where the offense plays the defense, and the defense starts out with 17 points. It's like 17-0, and they get points for interceptions and tackles for loss and all those kinds of things. So. It worked out great for us last year, and so we're going to keep doing that.
7-on-7, what's that look like for you over the summer?
I hate them.
Well, everybody does. Ron Adelot said it was nothing but a helmet, and you can't tell nothing. It really's not.
Yeah.
The physical contact is not there, and Coach Adelot always said it's a glorified touch football game. There's no physical contact. He hated it.
Well, I hate it in the fact that when you go to these 7-on-7 tournaments, people do stuff that they don't normally do to win the 7-on-7 tournament. So as long as I'm here, we will not pay to go to a 7-on-7 tournament, and people send me stuff all the time. Hey, come to our 7-on-7, and I'm just like, thank you, but no thanks. I appreciate it, but we just like to get a team to come to us, or we go to them, and it's just one-on-one, and we can get work done and slow it down, and if we need to, or whatever, but work on what we do and not have to worry about, somebody playing, 2 over the top, man under, and running linebackers out of there, and so, we're not going to go to any tournaments, but we will go against a few teams. We'll have some teams come in, or we'll go see them, and we did a good thing with Tullahoma, just us Tullahoma and Fayetteville last year, and it was really good. It was just 3 teams, but we all got a lot of good work in, and everybody kind of did what they did, and so I'm not a big fan of those tournaments.
Walk us through a Friday.
Not that there's anything wrong with them.
No.
People that go to them, that's fine, but that's just not my cup of tea.
When we start thinking about a Friday night, and I was just talking to Coach Rankin about that, whether you're on the road or you're at home, it's logistically just a huge challenge from a football operations standpoint, from the time school lets out and getting these guys together, whether you're at home or whatever, but just feeding them and just and making sure everything goes all right, because you're responsible for so much as the host team. Whether it's
right.
the chain. Just talk to us about what have you learned through that first year of coaching, and some of the changes you may have made quickly.
Well, I'm fortunate that our administration and our basketball coaches, we've got some great parents that take care of a lot of that for us, and we don't have to. I mean, it's just, we take care of what we need to take care of, and they've got their lane, and they take care of those things, and I don't have to worry about it. And so I'm real fortunate in that way. And of course, I've been around for a long time, so I pretty much had a good idea of all that stuff. But but you gotta make sure you got a clock keeper there and an announcer there, and I mean, it's just people at the gate and all that kind of stuff, and then somebody meeting the other team and somebody meeting the officials, and it's a lot. It's a lot. you know, like I said, I'm fortunate because I have a lot of people that help us out. You know, they take care of us, and so I don't stress too much. Fridays, it really for me is pretty laid back. I get most of my work done during the week, and since they take such good care of me on Fridays, that you know we just kind of have to show up and play and make sure the sideline video works, and that the filmer's there, and the managers are there, and then you know we go out and play ball, and the offensive coordinator does his job, and the defense coordinator does his job, and I just kind of stand around and tell them when they can take timeouts.
That's great. That's great. What's got to? We're 150 days away, Coach. What's got to happen between now and then to be successful for the fall season of 2023?
Well, I mean, obviously, you know, there's a lot of stuff we got to work on, but we got to get a lot better. But I think we've set a good foundation, and we just got to find. You know, we lost some key things like everybody did, you know, from last year, and we just got to find guys to fill those spots. And but again, I you know, I'm tickled to death with our progress this off season, and you know, I'm really pumped about what we're doing, and offensively and defensively, and you know, we're going to try some things probably that are a little uncharacteristic or non-conventional, and see how that goes, and you know, we're just excited.
Well, Coach, nobody enjoys coming out to the launch pad more than me, and I am the guy that nicknamed it the launch pad, and I love it. And the basketball court is also called the Space Center. I named it so, but it's a special place, and I look forward to coming out and broadcasting this fall, and look forward to talking to you real soon on Inside the Headset.
Well, we'll be here.
All righty. Thank you,
Just
Coach.
Come on whenever you get ready.
Thank you, Coach. See you then.
All right, buddy.
See you,
man.
All right, bye.